Well, this is what I got from one of them fellers when I complained about feeling hungry.
Right, well, and Brenn and I travel a lot together, so there's lots of stories about how you eat on the road, okay?
There's a pretty good Idaho story you ought to tell about that.
Oh, I should. We were on the road to Burns, Oregon. Big brother James Nelson, my brother, was with us, okay? And, okay, the Nelson boys, we like to eat, okay? We started out the trip with a little jerky, maybe a Slim Jim or two, and things like that. And then once we got to Burns, we had a chicken fried steak the size of your head. And the next morning, you know, you gotta have bacon and sausage and eggs or you just can't get yourself going. And we had our performance and we headed home. And I know on the way home there was probably a Bahama Mama or something involved on the way back. But by the time we got back to where Brenn's wife was gonna pick him up, he was in a meat coma. She asked him, well, what would you like for lunch when you get home? He said, vegetables. That ain't the cowboy way, brother.
Gotta toughen up. Have you got an iron gizzard? Son, here's how to know. Dig an old deer carcass out of February snow and stick it on a spigot. Roll it on fire till it's the color of an old spare tractor tire. Out here on the salt range, riding in the wind, when you feel your gizzard rumbling, wanting food again. 10 of old smoked oysters and a nip of old Jim Beam, and you won't feel near hungry as you see. It's miles in the saddle in an old Boy Scout canteen. It makes you wild and woolly and lean and tough and mean, and there ain't no time for hunger when you're fighting through a blizzard. If you're gonna ride with me, son, you better have an iron gizzard.
Two grizzly bears sat on a log, picking their teeth with a bone, discussing their dietary habits, chatting and chewing along. Every once in a while, I feel the need for some berries and some grass, one bear said while licking his paws. It really helps things to pass. The other bear just sat and listened for a while, then confessed his darkest sin. Well, it's getting tough to catch an elk since all of the wolves have moved in. I plumb lost my taste for gophers. Chipmunks are barely a snack. Grubs and larvae are disgusting. I swear I'd even eat a yak. Beef's getting tough to come by since grazing permits were nixed, and I ain't touching a deer until this chronic wasting is fixed. I've eaten pigs, goats, sheep, cows, anything with a rumen. Now I'm hooked on forbidden fruit. I've a hankering for human. Oh, my stars, gasped his bear buddy. I thought I was the only one. Now I can come out of the closet and confess to what I have done. It don't get any better. Stay with me here.
Take an old sage blossom, roll it in your teeth. It's a sure enough cure for hunger, and it might just save your breath. Tell me that you're thirsty, just suck on an old red rock, or carve a chunk off an old salt lick block. It's miles in the saddle with an old Boy Scout canteen. It makes you wild and woolly, lean and tough and mean, and there ain't no time for hunger when you're fighting through the blizzard. If you're gonna ride with me, son, you better have an iron gizzard.
The two chewing Bruins spent the day discussing the legacies of their culinary conquests and exchanging recipes. You can smell them for miles away. Their pungent odor is strong. They reek of Big Macs and French fries, topped off with a stale ding-dong. Ooh, I especially like the tourists, the kind that come in a minivan. They're puffy, soft, and juicy and taste like a garbage can. Well, one thing's for sure and for certain, they're really easy picking. They're fat and slow and cannot fight and taste a lot like chicken. I don't care for the stringy ones, you know, the kind that wander far from the trail. Takes 2 or 3 just to make a meal, and they taste like sprouts and kale. Well, ever since I changed my diet to the sweeter things to chew, my cholesterol went sky high, and blood pressure sure did too. So now I'm back to grass and berries, at least till my numbers drop. But I still get a hankering for a dude from the donut shop.
It's a mountain man survival in the cold, dry, windy country. It's texture over taste. It's chewy or it's crunchy.